If you walk to the top of O'Connell Street in Dublin City, you'll find a great big statue and monument of Charles Stewart Parnell standing proud. It's inscribed with his own words, "No man has a right to fix the boundary to the march of a nation." That line sums him up perfectly. Parnell was the man who made Ireland believe again in its right to self-government, the man they called the Uncrowned King of Ireland. Parnell didn't come from the background you might expect. He was a Protestant landlord from Avondale in County Wicklow, part of the very class that usually sided with Britain. Yet he rose to lead the Irish nationalist movement in the 1880s. His power came not from swords or guns, but from political genius. He forged the Irish Parliamentary Party into a disciplined force in Westminster, in London, and united farmers, voters and activists on the ground in Ireland through the National League. For the first time, Ireland had a political machine that Britain could not ignore. The nickname Uncrowned King wasn't poetic exaggeration, it was real. To many Irish people, Parnell carried more authority than any monarch in London. He stood as a living symbol of their hopes, a leader chosen by them, not imposed upon them. He dominated the Commons with an icy calm, forcing Britain to deal with the Irish question. His goal was Home Rule, a parliament in Dublin to govern Ireland's own affairs while still in Great Britain. For a brief time, it seemed within his grasp. But alongside the public Parnell, there was another Mr. Fox. Well, let's just say that this nickname would become synonymous with him because of his long-lasting secret relationship with Katherine O'Shea. This was the name she used in disguising her lover. She was a wife of another MP, another politician. For nearly a decade they lived together quietly, raising children while they maintained this public mask of Ireland's great leader. The Fox image stuck, sly, elusive, always 2 steps ahead, slipping in and out of 2 worlds. In 1890, the secret was dragged into the light. Captain O'Shea, who was married to Katherine, filed for divorce, naming Parnell in court. The scandal rocked Ireland. Victorian society was unforgiving, but Ireland's Catholic Church was even harsher. Priests thundered against him from pulpits, insisting no Catholic could follow such a man. The Irish party split into bitter factions. His allies in Britain abandoned him. The man who had once been Ireland's king in all but name was suddenly cast aside by the very people who had carried him so high. I just want to take a moment to thank Anthony for inviting me to his beautiful restaurant, Mr. Fox. Branded on the clandestine nickname Mr. Fox that Parnell was known by for his relationship with Katherine O'Shea, she used that name in their correspondence and also for their relationship, so they remained a secret. Mr. Fox restaurant is on Parnell Square, historic square, and it was an absolutely wonderful experience. The thing that started the day off was a visit to Anthony and Wayne's factory for Mr. Fox whiskey. An absolutely wonderful experience. Tasting whiskey with the lads was actually really, really wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys, for having me at the factory, for being wonderful hosts, and for creating this beautifully branded whiskey. I would definitely recommend this to everybody. Parnell married Katherine soon after, but it was too late. His health declined under the strain. In October 1891, at just 45 years old, he died in her arms. Yet his body was brought back to Dublin. They say 200,000 people lined the streets. The grief was real. For all the scandal, people knew they had lost something irreplaceable. His funeral was a national event, and his grave in Glasnevin became a shrine. Parnell's career mirrors Daniel O'Connell's in a way. O'Connell, the liberator, won Catholic emancipation and showed Ireland the power of mass politics. Parnell, the uncrowned king, turned that mass mobilization into disciplined parliamentary muscle. Both failed to win ultimate freedom, but both laid the groundwork. Without O'Connell and without Parnell, there may have been no revolution afterwards. No Pearse, no Connolly, no Collins, who knows? They were the necessary prelude to the revolution that was to come. And there's something about Parnell's downfall that feels strangely modern. One day he was adored, the next he was abandoned. His private life was exposed, and the court of public opinion turned on him almost overnight. In our time we call it cancel culture, but in truth Ireland cancelled Parnell long before the phrase was invented. His story reminds us that reputations are fragile, movements built on a single leader are risky, and that sometimes the greatest figures of history are those who are both raised up and destroyed by the people they serve. That's why his statue still stands at the heart of Dublin, because Charles Stewart Parnell, the fox who outwitted empires and the king without a crown, remains a warning and an inspiration, a man who showed Ireland its power, even if it cost him everything.